Hey guys, what's going on? Bitcoin breaking to all-time highs. Altcoin season is finally happening. We've had crazy things happening over the weekend. Donald Trump meme coins, all sorts of other things going on. In this video, or this live stream, we're going to talk about exactly where we're headed next. What is about to happen in the markets? What is causing this pump that you're seeing right now? And what it means for the certain altcoins out there. I'm also going to talk about key narratives that I think are really undervalued, and we'll talk a little bit more about projects that I think you're going to want to pay attention to. So do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's get on with today's live stream. Now guys, obviously, I don't do that many live streams, so I'm not necessarily the best practiced at it. But hopefully you're going to appreciate this one, because I'm kind of like a fair weather live streamer, right? Last time I think I made a live stream was when Bitcoin, we just seen the election from Donald Trump, or the election win. And now we are starting to see some exciting stuff going on. So without further ado, let me see if I can share my screen for you. And we'll get into it. Now, first things first, if you're not already following me over on Twitter, guys, over this weekend, where I've not been particularly active in YouTube, because making YouTube videos can take a long time, I've been over on Twitter a lot. Okay, so if you want to get over, give me a follow on Twitter. Make sure it's houseofcrypto3, this one here. Okay, blue check mark. No one else. And you can keep up to date with what I'm looking at. Because, guys, I'm over here. I've been doing lots of things, right? I took a trade, a short trade last night on the Trump meme coin. Made a bit of money. Since then, we are seeing Trump rally back up. Fortunately, I took my profits here. I know a lot of people who are following me over on Twitter took those profits as well. So congratulations to you. But ultimately, this Trump meme coin thing, a little bit scary. And then later on, I'm going to talk about my brand new project, which will be launching in the coming few weeks. So if you want to know more about that, how you can get involved in it, then stick around till later on. Now, first things first, let's jump across and take a look at a Bitcoin chart. And as we go through this video, hopefully things will change and we'll continue to see some more exciting rallies. Now, we've been saying over the last few weeks, or I've been saying at least, and I think a lot of other people have, that things are absolutely where we want to be, right? We were going to see a little bit of a dip. There was nothing too major to worry about because the underlying things that drive this market, forget about the news, forget about like Donald Trump being the president or whoever's going to win the election or Michael Saylor doing this or whatever's going on. It's all a smoke screen. Hopefully you've realized this now with Donald Trump launching that outrageous meme coin. And then what's even more outrageous is his wife launching a meme coin like the day after. Outrageous stuff, okay? Can't trust any of the things that are coming out of these people's mouths. But what you can understand and what you can trust is the underlying reasons that bull markets happen. There's catalysts on top that do different bits. But fundamentally, what is happening, guys, is we are in a bull market because liquidity is arriving in the market. Okay, we've been through a very strong or very difficult time for the financial markets over the last few years, bottoming out around the time of the bottom of the FTX collapse. Since then, liquidity arrives back in the market. And I know people are pinning this to like the Bitcoin halving and all these other things. But fundamentally, Bitcoin is 86% correlated to liquidity in the markets. Liquidity arrives back in the markets. It goes up. We get sideways because we came up a little bit fast here. So we came up fast, too fast here. Okay, this was the Bitcoin ETFs. Everyone got too hyped about. Bitcoin went too fast. We have a sideways, and for those of you who are around this period of time, you know, good for you sticking it out because you're paying, it's paying you back now. Okay, this was a very painful time for most of us, particularly those of us trying to make videos every day. It's the worst. Okay, but now we're in good times. Okay, we have now seen a bit of a pullback after this very recent rally. And it's maybe shaken a lot of people out. I know a lot of people have been very scared about what's been happening and whether my altcoins are going to recover. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let's talk about, you know, what's really kind of happening right now. So obviously we've got the liquidity. Everything seems pretty good. Now, so I'm told, the reason for this, you know, pump that's just happened is that there's been a leak of, you know, Donald Trump's plans, and Donald Trump, you know, seems to have misplaced some document about what's going to happen and there being a Bitcoin strategic reserve. I always find it amazing how, you know, I can look after a few pieces of paper that, you know, are probably not that important. But, you know, the leader or the future leader of the United States of America, which is the most influential country in the world, whether we like it or not, can't seem to hold on to his important documents. Butterfingers. So, whether you believe this to be an actual error and he has misplaced them and there's been a leak, or whether it's just all by design, I'll let you be the judge of it. I think it's all by design. Nothing too shocking there. Okay, so the plan is quite clearly to start things getting running. Obviously, this kind of thing over the weekend with the Trump meme coin and whatever was the final flush out. It caused people to absolutely panic like crazy because everyone was pulling out of other meme coins, not meme coins, other altcoins, in fact, probably even out of Bitcoin, maybe, and pushing money across into this thing. This thing went up so damn fast, okay? And then, obviously, we had this big pullback. Whether we carry on up from here, I don't think it should be too much of a concern for you, okay? Why? This coin is already at, I don't even know what the market cap of this coin is. 50 billion? It's big, okay? Coins that big don't go that much higher when everyone's already looking at it, okay? So whether this goes higher or not, who cares? Okay, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to you, doesn't really matter to me. If you made money in this, I'm so happy for you, good for you. I hope you cashed out lots of bags at the top. Now you're set, okay? Now you've got a good bull market ahead of you. If you lost some money in here because you're buying up here, you know, we'll learn the lesson about not buying where everyone is looking, okay? Because when everyone is looking in that direction, probably not the place to look. And for those people who are like, well, yeah, but this coin is different. I made this picture here yesterday, okay? Obviously, we have come up a bit since then. But whenever someone says this coin is different, it's not, okay? Fundamentally, this coin is a meme coin, but there's been charts that have looked like this before, like Dogecoin, another meme coin. We've seen XRP looking a bit like this recently. We've seen Bitcoin having times that look like this. Fundamentally, all you're seeing is buyers versus sellers. If there's more buyers coming in the market, prices go up. Eventually, those people will stop buying and they'll start to sell. Those people who want to keep buying don't have as much money as those people down at the bottom. Then you end up with this exhaustion, price comes down, okay? And particularly now, with a lot of altcoins starting to rally, you then wonder, well, how much money or how much focus can the Trump coin get from now on, because it's not going to be able to compete. I might be wrong here, but I don't think it's going to compete aggressively with all the other altcoins that have been selling off like crazy. So, jumping across then to the cryptobubbles.net. Guys, if you're just arriving a bit late to the party or whatever, obviously it's quite early in the morning. For me, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. So let me know where you are around the world. Hit the like button as well, and we will get into some questions in a moment. If you want me to look at specific coins, if you want to go and shill me your coins, leave them down below. Maybe they can get some airtime. Now, obviously today, the three top performers, I made a tweet about this earlier. 17 years in the making, crypto markets. 17 years of innovation, all for one day where Trump, his wife, and Fartcoin are the top three coins. All of this time for the, crypto to get to this point. This is what we've got. Anyway, it's all good. No one can help themselves. We're all degenerates. We all run after the gains. We're all too greedy at some times. Anyway, this is very interesting because you'll notice it's still very wide open. There's a lot of opportunity. Now, typically in a conventional bull market, and this one, dare I say, does feel a bit different in that, there's a lot more kind of coins and stuff around. There's a lot more noise. There's a lot more players in the game than there was before. Fundamentally, you typically will see Bitcoin having a very good rally at the start. Now, what you've probably seen up until this point is every time Bitcoin goes up, the Bitcoin dominance will fall. Bitcoin dominance is a percentage of Bitcoin as part of the wider crypto market. So right now, Bitcoin's market cap is nearly 60% of all of crypto. But this is very significant because right this second, you'll see that Bitcoin is going up and the Bitcoin dominance is going up, which is very important because it means that the money is flooding into Bitcoin harder and faster than it does into altcoins. This typically doesn't really happen until kind of like the first major moves of the bull market. Okay, so what we're seeing right now in my opinion, dare I say it, is the first major moves of this bull market. Yes, we've seen Bitcoin having some good rallies over the last few years, okay? But right now we're starting to see everything coming together, the full-blown, you know, the crazy bull market that everyone's been waiting for. The bit where everyone doesn't doubt it anymore, where everyone is like, okay, it is a real bull market. We're not, you know, we're not going to dump down from here. No one thinks it's the top signal, because when it's the top, none of you will think it's the top, okay? When so many people tell me in the comments that it's the top, we've had the top, it usually isn't, okay? Most people don't realize it's the top. But hopefully, if you subscribed to the channel, then we're going to be able to identify the psychological markers of when the top's going to come, okay? Simply just watch the people. You don't even need to look at a chart. We don't need to worry about a price prediction. Just look at the people. You, me, what are you thinking? You represent all the people in this market. When you're like literally thinking about quitting your job and showing all your mates how much money you made in crypto, usually it's somewhere near a local, either a local top or the actual top. We saw this recently. Probably if you've been in the market since 18th of December, you probably already know this, don't you? Because you've already been through that pain. So hopefully it's been a good lesson for you. Now, where do we see the most value flooding? Guys, I think it's pretty obvious where the money is going to go in this bull market. It doesn't have to be that complicated. A lot of the money has been arriving from one chain into another over the last few days. Doesn't mean that Ethereum, whatever, won't be blowing up, but I think that a lot of money in Solana right now is going to wash around and stay in Solana. So what you saw yesterday, in fact, some of the coins that fell the hardest were the Solana meme coins, the Solana AIs, and all these different projects on Solana in the last week, not last week, have taken some of the biggest hits, okay? Solana is a little bit down today, but that's more because Solana went up so damn hard yesterday or over the weekend, okay? There was something like 8 million transactions per minute going through Phantom wallets. 8 million transactions every minute going through Phantom Wallet. There was so many people trying to interact with Solana yesterday, and you could be like, oh yeah, but Solana's not as good as whatever. Who cares, okay? Everyone was using it. All that money is in Solana right now. That money will wash around in Solana. It won't necessarily come out of there. So the opportunity, I think, still lies in and around Solana, in and around some of the AI agents and AI platforms over on Solana. But initially, and I think we're seeing it happen right now, a lot of the larger caps are probably going to go on a bit of a run, okay? As much as I don't hate XRP, I don't care, okay? I don't hate or love any crypto coin. I just like to talk about XRP from time to time because it represents something interesting in the market from a psychological standpoint, okay? This coin has been under a huge amount of scrutiny over the last few years. People hate it, people love it. I don't care, okay? The people who are kind of bought into this, who got in down there, have done a really good job. They've got lucky. They've done some good research and they've, you know, moved in the right direction. But there is an element of luck here. Let's be honest, okay? Everything in crypto, when you make money, is lucky. People made far more money in Trump coin over the weekend. They were lucky because maybe they were awake and they actually saw the tweet and they didn't think it was a scam. Okay, I'm not bitter. I was actually awake and I didn't think it was a scam. I don't know, just didn't bother, which breaks me because I would have seen it probably at less than $1 billion market cap. Anyway, you win some, you lose some. Glad for the other people who made money. XRP, I think, is going to go on a run first. And we're seeing it right now. How quickly XRP has reacted to this move today from Bitcoin is very evident, right? And we can see from a chart pattern perspective, this is a pretty solid one. Whenever you get these kind of like standard chart patterns and people are like, oh, it's just one of these. It is, but in crypto, everything's so much more volatile. You just get these massive liquidity hunts. Okay, this has come down to stop everyone out before it sends higher. Now, in my opinion, I don't think XRP is going to be heading significantly higher than where it is right this second. Okay, so from your standpoint right now, same as Trump. If Trump coin goes and doubles, who cares? Okay, it's still only a 2x. It doesn't matter if it goes up to like whatever billion market cap. It only matters for you because you're only going to get your 2x from here. But your downside potential on Trump is pretty damn big. Okay, so it's not worth it for Trump. XRP, I don't believe necessarily will crash, But I do think that XRP is already in this pretty like parabolic move. If you look at pretty much every altcoin chart out there, they will either kind of steadily climb and then capture a top like this, or they tend to sort of do one of these. This is actually not necessarily the best thing that people behind who are betting on XRP want to see, because typically something comes up this fast goes down pretty hard as well. Okay. I don't believe it's necessarily going to dump, but let's just look at Dogecoin from the last bull market, because it's a very similar chart, really, to what we're seeing in XRP. Okay, you see we had this initial kind of like sideways action, rally. And then it falls back down, collects up some liquidity. This came down a bit more aggressively than that, but you can see from there. So for example, if this was Trump coin right now, and we were looking at it from here, this is 117%. This is like not quite even a 2x, but the downside could have been even more brutal, right? As an example, Peanut, a coin that everyone was like, oh, well, it's going to go and try and do a 2x. They got in up here, and they're now down like 82% in a bull market. Okay, so don't just jump in late coins because you get wrecked. So people loving XRP and stuff, I do expect it's going to rally. But if you're not holding it, why does it shouldn't concern you, okay? I wouldn't be too concerned about these kind of bigger altcoins that are going to get moving first. There's a very good chance that we see XRP having a bit of a rally, Cardano, whatever. And I know people will be like, well, yeah, but this coin's different because of Donald Trump and because of the future of money and all these other things. No, it's not. It's the same shit, okay? It's just buyers versus sellers, okay? Might be other catalysts and things that come on and push buyers in, but it's already there. You need people less intelligent, less fortunate than you to be able to get in after you to push the bags up higher. And since everyone already knows about XRP and Trump coin, there's not that many people, hopefully, that are going to get in after you, okay? So, the biggest opportunity doesn't lie in the places where everyone is looking. The biggest opportunity, and you should be very grateful for this Trump coin right now because it's pulled everyone's attention to the other way. And what are you going to do? You just have to be over here, okay? Everyone's now looking this way, and you're still here, and it will come good at some point, right? So, where are we right now? XRP having a bit of a pump, and some of the other larger caps will be rallying as well. Cardano's, H-bars, the ones that rallied in November, December, all did so because, one, everyone knew about them from the bull market before. Yes, there is a narrative element that helps these coins, getting rid of Gary Gensler and the SEC, although lots of people are asking for Gary Gensler to come back after recent events. And, this is obviously positive for XRP and whatever else. Also, these coins are available on Coinbase, Binance. People love those exchanges because they're the ones that you use when you're new to crypto. So they will obviously see some excitement, but eventually they will kind of start to pause and cool down, and then the money and the opportunity will come into the other sort of smaller cap altcoins. And I will look at smaller cap altcoins in just a moment. Let's just get in and have a couple of questions just to have some other, otherwise what's the point of doing a live stream? Otherwise this is just like a badly edited video because there is no editing. And normally my videos would be quite good in terms of the editing. Right, I'll have a look at some different coins in a moment. So, ETH and SEI. Okay, ETH is the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Ethereum. What is going on with Ethereum? Eric Trump posting about Bitcoin. I mean, what does everyone think of this, like, Trump stuff going on right now? Is it good? Is it pretty outrageous? How does it end? Let's have a look at ETH because this is a big deal. And where is it? So first things first, right? We've got Bitcoin now rallying 108,163 bucks. If we come down to the Bitcoin dominance, which is important before we look across at Bitcoin, and ETH, we can see that Bitcoin dominance is running into this area here, which is quite interesting because it is also putting in these high lows. There is a chance that Bitcoin dominance could actually go and climb up higher, which would then put everything on hold for a little bit more time, okay? But it's not necessarily the worst thing right now because Bitcoin is going up quite hard. So what do we see here? Well, there is a resistance area. Until that resistance area is broken, you know, there's a potential we get rejected. But this is all messing around here. I think the key to this, though, and why we're not really seeing much action here is because of what's going on in Ethereum. And if we go across to Ethereum, Bitcoin, it should be a little bit clearer. Now, there are people who are more, you know, ingrained in this kind of stuff than me, who are spending hours and months and whatever looking into this, the technical aspects of all of these charts. And that's fair enough. Okay, people like Ben Cowan, really useful, really interesting stuff. But there's like a whole other element which I think the Trump coin has completely shaken up and changed things for us, and that is basically the influence, right? The influence of people and how that kind of shapes crypto. But right now on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, we can see that this is, dare I say, the last chance saloon for Ethereum to have any sort of a reasonable bull market. Typically, in a bull market, we go through Bitcoin pumps, and then we go to the Ethereum pumps, and then we go to larger caps, and then into altcoins. But that model, I think, has changed, because Ethereum, you know, we can see that Ethereum hasn't really managed to get far against Bitcoin. There's various reasons for that. Multiple new competitors in the space, Solanas, Sui's, Aptos's, Say networks, you know, the list goes on. But there's also the other elephant in the room, and that is the Ethereum Foundation, who seem to be selling every time Ethereum gets up towards $4,000. So right now, as we look at the chart, from a chart perspective, you can see that this area, 22nd of March 2021, we had a massive rally of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Okay, this is the absolute point, or this is the point right now where we're at. Now, this is a buy zone. Okay, so I don't want to say that anything is going to happen until, you know, we have a response from here. There is a very good chance that suddenly Trump administration rolls in, something happens crazy. Not only are we going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but we're going to have an Ethereum one or something crazy, and it sends Ethereum higher than you can ever imagine. Because Ethereum right now is not showing any signs of being able to bounce from this area. And I think it scared a lot of people. And that would be perfect that suddenly, you know, they absolutely send it. And if they absolutely send it, then that, you know, will absolutely send the altcoins crazy, right? It will show that we are now moving into the next phases of this kind of bull market. Although, to be honest, I think we've been in altcoin season for quite a long time. You might not feel it, but we've seen a lot of altcoins going crazy, right? XRP is one of the biggest crypto coins. Look at it. If this doesn't say that we're in an altcoin, this is an altcoin, okay? This is an altcoin. This is an altcoin. It's not having such a great day, okay? But lots of altcoins have been going absolutely bonkers. Just because the ones you're holding might necessarily not have been, doesn't mean that we're not in an altcoin season. We are fundamentally in an altcoin season, but this is, we've had a little bit of a pause. It's really difficult when we have those pauses because we all get so hyped up and excited through like the kind of the up phase that we had a few weeks ago, and then suddenly it goes sideways for like 3 weeks and we're like, this is bullshit, I quit. Okay, but actually it's all fine. Where was I get sidetracked. I think Ethereum, something crazy is going to be going on with Ethereum, and I think there's something that's going to happen. I don't like to just speculate on whatever, but that, you know, this is a live stream, guys. We're just having a chat. We're obviously, you know, there's no particular agenda here. Just having a chat. We're going to come to some important stuff later on. I think, you know, we've got the, what's it called? The World Liberty Foundation, which is set up by the Trump family. And they've been heavily buying into Ethereum over the last few days. Under the radar. Slowly leaking a bit of information here and there. Something's going on, right? Ethereum looks horrible on a chart perspective. The Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart looks horrible, but it finds itself in this nice little bouncing point here. What was that date here? 29th of March 2021. What happened to Ethereum on the 29th of March 2021? It was... shock. Somewhere around here. Okay, Ethereum then goes and rallies 220% up until when? Mid-June. So pretty much for 2 or 3 months, it goes crazy. But up until this point, we hadn't seen a huge amount. In fact, Bitcoin started to stall around this point, okay, in the last bull market. 21st of March, they are 2021, Bitcoin pretty much topped out by then, and then we saw Ethereum rally. So I wouldn't be too concerned that you haven't seen Ethereum rally right now. You should want Bitcoin to keep rallying as much as possible without anything else rallying, because it means that we're not going to go into a tip anytime soon. Okay, although this is getting more and more parabolic, more and more round, more and more vertical, sorry. The more vertical something gets, the closer it is to exhaustion. Maybe we'll have a final kind of like leg up like this, and then there's a chance that we end up with a two cycle top like this, rather than what people thought in the earlier part of the year that we would just kind of carry on until the end of 25. Who knows? We'll deal with that as it comes. Anyway, more questions. Sorry, I ramble. If you just write a coin, what am I supposed to say about it? Why is everyone so desperate for Jasmy? What is Jasmy? Guys, Jasmy's fucking shit coin. I have no idea why everyone's so into Jasmy. It's really just not that special. And to be honest, these are kind of like scary kind of rallies up, all to be kind of like dumped down that hard. I don't know. It's way, compare this with, let's say, Solana chart or an AVAX chart. AVAX is still very much in that kind of like, hasn't really broken out, kind of mid-stages phase. Okay, still in kind of like the secondary accumulation zone if you want. Chances are it has the next move. Jasmy, however, just looks like some sort of weird, dodgy stuff is going on. The launch was horrendous. If you go in like closer and you just look at these like pump and dumps, I just don't get it. Okay, I don't really get the narrative behind it. I don't really get all this like the Bitcoin of Japan, because the Bitcoin of Japan is just Bitcoin. Okay, and what it says it does as a project versus the Bitcoin of Japan is just ludicrous. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. It's got a lot of attention because it's on the big exchanges. So yeah, there's a chance to see some rallies, but I would maybe anticipate that we don't get up to these highs again. Sorry, maybe I'm wrong. Lots of people quickly click off the video because they're like, he doesn't like Jasmy. That's right, whatever. XRP and Sol can pass Ethereum market cap, maybe, but so what, right? XRP versus Sol, but again, right, it doesn't matter that much. Like, look at this in terms of, don't get so involved and so like attached to these things. Who cares, right? XRP right now has got a market cap of $183 billion, which is massive, right? Massive. Ethereum, it's got a market cap of $400 billion. So it's a 2x to get to Ethereum's market cap. Yeah, what do you do? It might make lots of nice Twitter posts about how good a coin it is, but 2x. The fact that it has to do a 2x to be as big as Ethereum, the second biggest crypto of all time, shows you that it's just not going to give you much more than a 2x. Which I know will be very unpopular because people are very heavily emotionally attached to this coin, which is weird, okay, because it's just a digital bit of code, so don't get attached to things. But ultimately, people are stuck in this like crazy loop of confirmation bias. And it doesn't help that, YouTube is telling you everywhere that XRP is the best thing ever, because lots of people are searching for XRP, and there's the same problem with Jasmy. XRP is much better and much more important, possibly, than Jasmy. It was the same thing that happened to Casper for so long, and that's why so many people got wrecked in Casper. And then all of a sudden, those YouTubers who stopped making content about Casper because you all stopped looking at Casper, they all said that they weren't going to hold it anymore, and then it's gone up. Okay, so this is I'm going to use this. I gave Casper quite a lot of stick in the past. I actually didn't. I don't have anything against it. What I was giving stick to was the people who were making videos every single day about Casper going to $30 next week. Just retarded. Okay. Right now, Casper actually has taken a nice bounce here. And it's doing it because no one's paying attention. Everyone stopped talking about it, and then suddenly it gets on a move again. Whereas all these coins that have had like good periods of time in the past, everyone rushes to talk about them, but by the time everyone's looking at them, you don't want to be getting involved, okay? Same as Donald Trump coin. Everyone's talking about it. You want to look in the direction that no one is looking. There is one narrative that is probably underrated more than any other right now, where we are seeing a little bit of a pump. What do you think that narrative is? How many people we got watching this? I have absolutely no idea. It's times like this where, I don't know. I hope you're watching. Hope you can hear what I'm saying. Maybe the audio's not even working. Right. People are commenting pretty aggressively. Everyone's pretty pumped up this morning, this evening, wherever you are. Sui, Ondo, Aero. This is not narratives. What narratives, guys? You're just shouting coins at me. Narratives. Okay. This guy hating on Trump coin. I'm not hating on anything, guys. I don't hate anything. I'm just aware that coins go up and they go down. When everyone's looking in one direction, it means it usually goes down. There's no mystery, okay? There's nothing. I'm not like personally attached to any of this stuff. If I say, people will be like, oh, he's just trying to put hate on Trump coin and he's trying to crash them up. It's like my word against the president of the US. I think he's probably a bit more influential than I am. So relax, okay? I'm not going to crash the price of your coin. I'm just looking at this from a perspective of someone who's watched this happen time and time and time again over the last, how long? 5-6 years? Every time everyone is telling me to buy a coin and telling me that if I say something bad about it, I'm hating on it, inevitably that coin goes down. Okay, I'm not pretending that I have some sort of crystal ball, but there is no better top signal than people telling me that I hate something and people telling me that I'm just being negative about it because I didn't get in or I missed out. Ultimate top signal. Anyway, the same. I told you this about Jasmine. I made a video in the summer, around 19th of July, saying that there was a good chance Jasmine would come down and people were like, this guy is an idiot, I'm never trusting him again. It came down like 50%. Now, everyone's like, oh, I've stopped holding Jasmine and now it's sorry, not Jasmine, Casper, and that's going to bounce. Casper actually looks really pretty good. From a chart perspective, okay, fundamentally, from a chart perspective, it looks pretty good. The tech behind Casper, everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. It's pretty cool tech, but right now, Casper is a layer 1 that can't host smart contracts. It's kind of like a car without an engine. When they come in and have smart contracts, it could be a very exciting thing. But unfortunately, I don't think that's due till the summer, so I see Casper struggling against the likes of Sui and Solana and whatever else for that reason. What's been driving the growth in Solana, or Sui more recently, huge amounts of development on Sui chain, right? People are building on that platform. That's what makes it work. Anyway, underrated, yeah. Okay, price prediction for Ondo. Good. That can be a segue into this then. I'm not usually so salty. Why am I so salty today? Crypto's up. Finally, I might be able to have a little rest as my leverage positions come now back into profits, okay? After multiple sleepless weeks. We're back in the game. Made it, okay? Where am I? What's going on with Ondo? Ondo is a real-world asset platform. Real-world asset coin. The real-world assets, I think, are the most underrated narrative of this bull market. Because people are aware of them. People have talked about them before. But they've kind of slipped away and gone quiet. But that's good because last year's like bull market phase, if you're around in the last, for the veterans out there that are around back in March of last year, we saw a lot of excitement. Obviously the chart's not going to load because we're live. We saw a lot of excitement happening on real world asset platforms, coins, okay? BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, started tokenizing or said that they were going to tokenize traditional finance assets. Okay, this is a pretty big deal. Lots of real world asset coins around then went absolutely crazy. Okay, we saw Ondo pumping like crazy. In fact, Ondo was a decent coin to be buying into just a couple of days ago, and I'll show you how well we could have known that. Also, we saw Clearpool, a coin I personally hold, pumping like crazy, and a few others. But a lot of these real-world asset platforms have been down heavily. R-Trade, for example. Why is Ondo not working? It's pissing me off. Okay, obviously we're not going to get into them. Real-world assets, probably the most underrated area of the market right now. Let me show you. This is I made a portfolio video recently. This is my portfolio right now. Can you feel the pain? Look at it. Why are all my coins not pumping and everyone else's are? It's fine. Okay, this pump. The pump will come soon. Okay, this is my portfolio right now. within this portfolio some of the real world asset coins that I think are worth talking about. Okay. Now, Ondo is not in this portfolio, you'll notice. Ondo is a much bigger market cap coin. Okay. For real world assets, I think that there is going to be some later movers, and I think the later movers are the ones I'm going to talk about in this. But Ondo is now starting to show some aggression, some excitement, and it did that after this. So if you're wondering how to find a good coin to trade, how to find a good coin to buy, hopefully, if the Wi-Fi decides it's actually going to work. Is Wi-Fi not working? I'm in China, so we got the VPN wrong. Okay. No Wi-Fi allowed in China. Hope they're not listening. All right. Anyway, funding rates. Funding rate heat map. This is a very, very good key to knowing where you should be looking to maybe go long. Okay, if you are a trader out there, and here's a little bit of an inside tip. Funding rates are basically referring to the amount of the price it costs to set a leverage trade. I'll get there eventually. So, for example, if I've got $100 to my name right now and I want to buy Bitcoin on 4x and I want to put $100 in, it means I have to borrow $300 from the exchange in order to put in that 4x trade, which is going to give me $400 of buying power. Now, if no one is going long right now, the demand is low, which means the price of that trade is low for me. It means my funding rate is lower because no one else is trading it. When no one is trading it, it means that the actual price that is shown on the chart is the spot value price. It shows the price of the coin based on the supply and demand, based on the amount of buyers, the amount of sellers, and that kind of thing. As soon as you introduce leverage into that, you can end up overinflating the price of a coin significantly. That's why we end up rallying up really strongly and typically come down strongly as well, because when the move comes down lower, a lot of those over-leveraged positions get liquidated, the price comes down. So when the funding rate is really low, it often means maybe it's a good time to take a trade. When the funding rate is really high, it means it's a good time to take profits. So looking at this is coinglass.com, and you go to the funding rate and go to the funding rate heat map. This isn't all the coins, right? But this is a good portion of the larger coins out there. Look at the ones that are blue. And I talked about this on a video the other day. Did I mention it in one of my groups? Ondo, you can see, was all blue. This shows that the funding rate was super low. No one was leveraged on Ondo, which was very good because it meant that a lot of traders could come in and be like, I'll take a leverage trade on that because the risk is way lower. If no one's already going long, it means the price selling off aggressively isn't likely to happen. It means you can enter into a long much safer than you could, for example, here in Trump coin. Okay, it's not me hating on Trump coin. It's just the yellow one on the chart. Also down here, Fart coin. Okay, both of these coins today are the top performers, right? With this one and the exception. Fartcoin, one of the top performers. Trumpcoin, one of the top performers. Go across, funding rate. What happens? Everyone tries to go long on the same coin. And when everyone's trying to go long, chances are it will come down sooner rather than later. On the flip side, Ondo and ENA, both real-world asset coins, have some of the lowest funding rates, which means that no one's really paying attention to real-world assets right now. Particularly the biggest real-world asset coins, which are Ondo. Mantra might be bigger. But just for the sake of this argument, because we've got Ondo here, Ondo's a pretty big deal because it's partnered with BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, who pretty much are controlling everything. Yeah, they own a good portion of Bitcoin right now. They created the Bitcoin ETF. Things are looking interesting. So, real world asset coins, underrated. Go to crypto market cap, coin market cap. You don't want to be into those. Now, if you're thinking right now and you're looking at charts like this and you'd be like, tell me about Melania. Tell me about Arve. Tell me about, this is what you're doing wrong. If you've spent the last few weeks in the red, this is what you've done wrong, okay? Because you were paying attention to what everyone else was paying attention to, this is why you've been burned. And this is why you've sat in the red, okay? You need to start looking where people are not looking and understand where that next move's going to come from. It's inevitable that that real-world asset move will happen at some point in this bull market. It's just not happening right now, okay? So we can come across here, and you can see that real-world assets don't even hit this trends, okay? Meme coins, Solana, DOT, AI agents, DeFi gaming, oh, that's and Deepin. No real world assets here. Happy days. Okay, happy days. Now, you might be into something here because you might find a narrative that no one's yet talking about. And so what? If you sit quietly away for the next week or two, waiting for suddenly real world assets to ignite because BlackRock drops another news article to boost its bags, then you're on the right side of things, rather than being on top of the coins right now, at the very top, being like, who knows? Real world assets. Now, real world assets are quite an interesting asset class, okay? And there is a variety of them, okay? Some of the bigger ones have been doing quite well recently. Now, Hedera HBAR, you could argue, comes under the real world assets banner, but ultimately it's pumping and has been pumping because of multiple reasons. One, it's an older meme coin. Not meme coin, sorry. An older coin from the last bull market. People already know about it, so the people who came back into crypto and the markets were moving were buying into it. It's also an ISO 20022 coin, which in March, on March the 10th, is going to be the framework that's rolled out into traditional finance. Okay, and there's only 8 compliant crypto coins that are using this financial messaging standard. Okay, it's boring, but it's probably a good reason why we're seeing Hedera HBAR, IOTA, Quant, XDC, what else am I missing? XLM, XRP, Cardano. Anyway, whatever. I might have repeated myself on those. Anyway, that's the reason they've all been going pumping like crazy. But yeah, if we come down the list, we've got some newer ones in the game. Also, HBAR's got a 13.9 billion market cap. Less interesting for us, right? Ondo, 4.5 billion. Mantra, 3.6 billion. When these start to rally, you're going to see other people going like, well, which other real world asset coins should we be paying attention to? The funding rates on Ondo are incredibly low right now, which makes it a very good trade for the smart money to get into. Smart money goes into Ondo. Ondo starts to pump up. What happens? Everyone's like, well, what's the next one? The same way that when a meme coin pumps, everyone's like, which is the next meme coin to buy? That's why this meme coin probably went up even faster than the Trump one did, because she was the next one. By then, everyone had been like, wow, okay, I'm ready for the next one, and they're ready to pull the trigger. Okay, so everyone always enters into the second or third one harder and faster probably than they do the first one. Whew. So, does that make sense? We're looking at real world assets right now because I think Ondo is incredibly undervalued. And this shows it. So does ENA. Big money rolls in, pumps up Ondo. News articles and everything starts to come around Ondo. Everyone else then goes, well, which other real world asset coins are we going to get into? And they start to rally. But because of this video, hopefully you've hit the like button by now, we're now aware that those will also start to run as well. Gives us a good opportunity to enter, right? So what we're looking for is smaller market cap coins than Ondo and Mantra that also offer similarly exciting things. Clearpool is one of those coins. I don't know what the market cap of Clearpool is. Clearpool is a market cap coin of $260 million. And people will be like, yeah, you're shilling your own bags. I am partly, but not because I'm just trying to like pump my own cash, okay? But also because I want you guys to make money. If you make money, then my channel grows. Ultimately, my goal is to get a bigger channel. But anyway, Clearpool, as you can see, is heavily down today. This is a good thing, okay? Because it means you've got a chance to enter when everyone else isn't looking at it. And there's other real world assets here as well. Bricken, I'll talk about in just a moment. But yeah, Clearpool, very similar in lots of ways to Ondo and Mantra, right? But instead of being a $4 billion market cap coin, like Mantra and Ondo, 4.5, Clearpool's got a, what was it? I forget. $259 million market cap. So to go up to, questioning my maths, that's what, like a 10x is 20, it's like a 20x to being the size of Ondo right now. And Ondo hasn't even pumped. Ondo's down at the bottom. No one's paying attention to Ondo. Okay, so this has a potential to go to 20x to be the size of Ondo. And you're like, well, yeah, but can it happen? Okay, well, we come across and we can see that Clearpool is the first decentralized credit marketplace. What is so interesting about this? Well, it's not necessarily the most exciting thing. It's probably more exciting kind of gaming and AI projects to talk about right now. But Clearpool is doing something pretty cool. it allows you and other people out there to invest in their funds, regulated funds, that then other big organizations can go and access those funds. So instead of the old school way of having to go and like create loans and go down to the bank to lend them money and other people go and borrow the money and all these other things, which takes forever and is much more expensive and slow, this is now what Clearpool's doing. You can see that they've now created $663 million worth of loans. They are a massive player, but their market cap doesn't suggest they are yet. Okay, you can come down below and you can see that they have all these like credit vaults, dynamic pools. Okay, so this, and I keep telling you this, I told you about this SUI and whatever in the summer. This has all the makings of a Ondo finance kind of coin. Okay, it's that level of coin, but it's just a little bit under the radar right now, and it's worth looking into. You can see it's backed by the biggest tier 1 VCs out there. I don't think there's any other, maybe Binance Labs gets on this list or A16Z, but you don't really get much bigger than this. Okay, and those of you who are like, well, I want to buy a fair launch coin, fair enough, but do you know who really pumps the liquidity into like XRP and SUI and whatever else and gets those coins rallying like crazy? It's these guys. Okay, these guys are the ones who are injecting that money in so that it gets onto over here and it gets onto the trending pages, and then you go and buy it because of these guys. But if you're buying in before these guys or when these guys are buying in, then you're on the right way. Okay. Anyway, so I would check out Clearpool. Let's have a look at a chart for Clearpool. Our trade as well, guys. Very interesting one. Where are we? C pool. Obviously, other real world asset coins are available, guys. Go and, fill your boots. It's up 12%. See, Kate bouncing nicely. Has had this recent pretty aggressive sell-off, 57%. But this was one of the top performing coins recently. All of a sudden, it's gone quiet. And all of a sudden, you've still got Ondo, which I think is doing something similar. And if it's doing similar things to Ondo, it won't shock me at all. Hopefully, we can actually get Ondo on the chart this time. Here we are. Look at it. Ondo is one of the top performing coins of the last year, for sure. Let's have a look at the top 100. It may be obvious. I didn't really have much of an idea about what I was going to talk about on this YouTube video today. So it's just, we're just watching over my shoulder as I go through my daily routine. Where's Ondo? Why are you not on the list? This is for a month. We go for the year. Surely it's going to show us that. Okay, so Mantra's there. Did Ondo just have it? Oh, it's there. Okay. Not the top performer, but it's up there. It's seen some attention. Not a meme coin. This is interesting. BitGet Exchange coin. Anyway, so real world assets, guys. Look at real world assets. If you want, go to defilama.com. I'm just going to back it up because I'm not just like shilling you coins for the sake of shilling you coins without telling you why I'm going to shill them to you. I want to show you something really important. Like I know that kind of what's just happened with this meme coin crap has just changed things. But while we have like got the attention and excitement part of crypto, we've also got the kind of actual utility part of crypto, and some of these coins are actually getting used. Some of these coins are actually doing things, which is exciting. Because if we do get mass adoption, which is what Donald Trump and his mates are promising us, then you want to be in the coins that are actually getting adopted right now, right? This is Ondo Finance. Look at the TVL. Total value locked, 644 mil. And yeah, it sits like a $5 billion market cap, or just under. C-Pool, which might go under the name of Clearpool, is going to show us total value locked is 94 mil, which obviously is significantly smaller than Ondo, but it's not that much smaller when you compare it to the market cap. It's actually a pretty significant chunk of the market cap of Clearpool. Okay, so it's more than 50%, nearly 50% of the market cap. Okay, and then other things. And you can go to the other parts here. So we have Clearpool Lending. We've got more TVL over here. Clearpool, T-Pool. I don't know what that is, but you get the picture, right? You get the picture. So definitely worth having a look at Clearpool. I think underrated, and we'll likely see some interest in the next few weeks. Other real world asset coins that I really like the look of are Trade. Because, and I'm going to bring this up later in the week. Okay, I want to talk about this in a real world assets video later in the week because I think it needs more attention than it's getting. Our Trade, you basically go and you can buy they tokenize artwork. So instead of buying like a full-blown Picasso painting, you can own like 1% of a Picasso painting. And you can buy R-Trade tokens, keep tokens, stake them, then you can go and buy things like luxury goods, like watches and whatever else. Okay, so it's quite cool. Offers different things over there. Pretty small market cap. Checks. I've seen, I posted about this on Twitter. Chintai. If you are just joining now, guys, make sure you go across on Twitter, because a lot of this stuff I'm talking about gets shared over there. Not everything makes it onto my YouTube videos. And we'll talk about this project in just a moment, which is my own personal project, which I'll be launching very, very soon. With huge partners about to be announced in the coming days or two. So that's Perceptron, guys. Go look at it. We'll talk about it in a moment. Where was I? This guy, CEO of Checks, Chintai. Okay, have a look at Checks, guys. They are talking about the announcements and things coming up. 50 major client announcements in the pipeline to go live. Billions of dollars of assets coming on chain. This is something that we've seen from the CEO of Chainlink talking about, but by the end of this bull market, we're likely to see more money in terms of traditional assets being brought on chain than the actual value of the crypto bull market, crypto market cap, okay? That doesn't mean that it's going to go into the coins, but it means that the money in traditional assets that are now on chain or tokenized assets could be valued bigger than the entire market cap of crypto. So those projects that are going to be doing bringing projects on chain, the Ondos, the Mantras, the Clearpools, whatever, could be some of the biggest plays. Okay? Huge. I'm just going to have a bit of water because I'm thirsty. Yeah, so Checks. Let's have a look at a chart for Checks. Similarly, I think it's pretty small compared to what we've just looked at. And you see, this is very notable today. A lot of these coins came down pretty damn hard, and they're all coming up really hard right now. So maybe I'm actually not as early as I thought it was, and it's happening right under our noses. But they're not even on the trending page of here, because they won't get on the trending page until they're probably up here. And then by then you're going to miss it, right? So think about this. Is this useful? Metacade price prediction. What? Is that all you want from this? Is Trump coin going to be registered on Coinbase? Who cares? I don't mean to be so damning, guys, but if it goes on Coinbase, then maybe it goes up another 10%, 20%, 100%. Doesn't matter, right? The downside potential for a coin like that that's gone up that hard right now versus the upside potential just isn't a nice balance, okay? I guarantee, okay, this is not financial advice and this is not a whatever, but if I was to be a betting man, I would say that there is probably more money to be made on, let's just pick any of these at random, in Ethereum, than there is on Trump coin right now. That could be one of the most, that could come back to haunt me. I know one of you is going to be posting on a Twitter page in a year being like, House of Crypto told me not to buy Trump coin and it went up. Anyway, I don't think it's going to go up that much harder. Maybe it will. If this coin is different, but it's not different, it's just a representation of buyers versus sellers. This is all these charts are, buyers versus sellers. Okay. So yeah, look at checks. Let's just have a look at 519 mil. Okay, so it's not tiny, but still it's 10x to Ondo. Anyone holding checks? Let me know down below. Right. I think Trump will be the Pepe of 2025. It's already way bigger than Pepe. So it's already the Pepe of 2025. What more can it do? And what happened to Pepe, guys? Let's just remind ourselves of what happened to Pepe. All right, it went up and then it went down. Shock. Okay, so it went up and then it went down. It went up and then it went down. It's gone up and then it's going to go down. You don't want to just hold, like, so for example, let's just say, for the sake of this argument, that Trump coin is like here right now. 258% gain, okay? But this is from when? April last year. it's taken almost 9 months to go up 250%. And this is like, this isn't even a right argument, because Pepe is so much smaller at this stage. It's so much smaller now than it was than Trump coin. Trump coin's already starting like at like this market cap. Okay, what goes up must come down. Aerodrome Finance, guys. I know a lot of people have been like very sad about Aero. Partly, and I'll tell you why this is, because Aero was the trending token, shock horror, of December. Everyone was raging about it because it was pumping like crazy. You got to stop buying these coins, okay? If you're sad because you've been down in the red in like Aero, I'm not saying don't buy it now. I'm just saying don't buy them when they're up here, okay? If you're buying into a coin up here, then you deserve what you get. I'm sorry. I told you time and time again, guys. Stop buying these candles when everyone is making videos about it and everyone is tweeting about it. Don't buy it, okay? Here's the trick. Trends.google.com. This shows you search volume. Very useful, okay? It's obviously not going to load because we're live and nothing works when you're live. I would hazard a guess as to saying that the... Is this going to load? I would hazard a guess to saying that the Aero search volume, Aero crypto or whatever, was the highest it's ever been on the, let's say, the 2nd of December. Or probably we can be a bit more accurate than that. Probably around the 7th of December. It's probably the highest search volume you'd ever seen. Okay? Then what happened? Everyone comes in and they try and convince you that you should be watching more and more Aero content. And then you end up in this bigger, painful spiral. I actually got the perfect thing to show you for that later. If I show you this, it's just on Canva, okay? Then that'd be useful. We'll come to that in just a moment. So, Aerodrome Finance was absolutely going bonkers back in December. Everyone wanted to be in it. Right now, you can see though, it's come all the way down, and now it looks far healthier than it did at that point. Okay. Remember, this is a real world asset platform on Base. Base is a really happening network. Okay. Aerodrome Finance today is up 10%. A lot of these coins that everyone was panicking about, they're just getting started, okay? I wouldn't stress about this one too much, guys, okay? I think Aerodrome Finance is a top class project. You just got in at the wrong time, okay? There's nothing wrong with the project. The wrongdoing is in your timing. But I wouldn't worry too much. A lot of these real world asset coins will come back with a vengeance and probably one of the top performing narratives of Q1. Just right now, you're not seeing it. And hopefully you're going to get ahead. Now, another project I've been looking at. So this is a good example. This is what I was trying to show you earlier. This is Bricken. This is a project I own personally. I personally hold. Okay. This was back last March when we saw a news article released from BlackRock about tokenized assets. Bricken in 2 weeks went up 10, 11x. Okay. Subsequently, it then comes down along with the rest of the bull market. It's now been building strongly, okay? So this just shows you uptrend, okay? Higher highs, higher lows, okay? This is showing you strength. While you might not feel it's showing you strength, it's very much showing you strength. But you feel broken and sad because you keep buying the tops, okay? But this will clearly bump higher and higher with a news article release. Now, Bricken is a very interesting platform. It allows people to tokenize their own assets. So, for example, I could buy houses and sell tokens to you as investors, and you could have part ownership of the houses I was buying, just as an example. Or I could buy an energy farm of windmills, which I don't think Trump really likes, but obviously I'm not American, so I don't really care. And I could, use you to invest in it, and then I could make the money from it, and I could distribute your investment portions back into your tokens. Okay, so this is what Bricken does. It's pretty cool. It's been funded by the EU, funded by other government organizations around the world. Huge partnerships coming up, and yet the other day when I talked about it for the first time, or it wasn't the first time, but first time in a while, it was like a $22 million market cap. Coins like this that are actually fundamentally starting to grow that are actually fundamentally doing stuff and being used are going to go absolutely bonkers in this bull market, okay? I have no shadow of a doubt that Bricken is one to watch. Whew, I don't know how I ended up going down that real world asset rabbit hole. The thing is, guys, a lot of the coins you're asking me to talk about in the comments, you're just repeating what you did in December that cost you so dearly, right? The reason you've been in pain is because you all focused on the coins when everyone else is focusing on them, right? Hopefully by now I'm teaching you something you shouldn't be doing. When everyone's talking about it, you've missed it. Go and look at something else, okay? One more real world asset coin. One of my favorites, Lingo, okay? Lingo, you can see, had a very healthy pullback after launch. It launched at a very good time, okay? When markets, mid-December, what was that? Bitcoin was at highs. 70. Notice how Bitcoin is struggling to get through here. We'll talk about that in a moment. This was what, 17th of December. Great time for a crypto coin to launch. Great time, okay? But then Bitcoin dumps. What happens? New coins and everything goes like that. Everyone's like, oh, this is a rug pull. I hate it. Get sad. No, not at all. You just bought the top, okay? There's nothing wrong with the coin. It's the timing that's off. What we can see is a very healthy pullback into this zone here. And we've printed a very standard pattern. A W pattern. And then we have a neckline for the W pattern. You can see that we came back down below the neckline, but right now we're getting bought up. Wouldn't shock me to see Lingo carry on its merry way like this. Okay. Lingo again. In fact, like what I was talking about just now with the buying of houses and selling like tokens. I don't even know what time this live stream started. How long has it been going on for? I've been standing up as well, so my legs are aching a bit. The where are we? Okay. What we're seeing right now, tokenized assets, Bricken. I was talking about how if I was to buy like a house or a wind farm or whatever, Lingo is basically already kind of doing this, but on a much bigger scale. And also it rewards its buyers through various different ways. So you can buy into Lingo and stake your Lingo tokens. You'll earn rewards because they go away with the money that you give them, and they buy hotels and all sorts of other things. And they also have huge partnerships with like Nike and Starbucks and Netflix and everyone else. So they give you other rewards, not just financial rewards, but other rewards outside of that, which is obviously very cool. Okay, so Lingo has, one of the biggest, is a kind of a within a very key narrative, but has a USP within that narrative, if you understand what I mean. I think that's very key as well. If you have a project that just does the same as everything else, it's not that interesting. But if you're in a key narrative and you're not too far away from that narrative, but you're doing something really important and useful, and you have assets under management and you're growing, can't go far wrong. Lingo's one to look out for. Okay, also pretty small market cap, I believe around 50 mil. It was 50 mil down here, so it's what, probably up 20%. Okay, 60 mil, good. Have a look. Right. Let's have a look at some coins. Everyone's like shouting out. So AI coins have been really interesting. I want to talk about AI coins because it's going to segue me into my project. Guys, if you're not subscribed by now, what are you doing? Okay. If you want to understand what actually fundamentally is going on behind the scenes of these crypto markets and what to actually do rather than what people keep trying to get you to do, then subscribe. Okay. When everyone's trying to tell you to buy and talk about this coin up here, I'm not going to be talking about it. Okay. I don't need to do that anymore. Fortunately, I've managed to grow my YouTube channel big enough that you will watch my videos and support me without me having to go after the YouTube algorithm and try and drive you in. Just before I come on to the AI agents, let me show you this rather terrible diagram which I made the other day. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I think I should. It's on Canva, which is where I make my incredible thumbnails, if you want to see where. So this is like how I think every coin goes. Okay, this is going to be the most important lesson of this live stream. Right? Let's use an example. I'll use, it doesn't really matter what I use, but let's use Ondo. Okay. Oh, Ondo's having a rally. Pumping. And for those of you who are like, oh, he's just pumping Ondo because he holds it. Guys, Ondo's like $4.5 billion. I wish I had the power in me to pump a $4.5 billion coin, but we're not quite there yet. I'd be much richer if I did. Okay. Anyway. Ondo, you can see, went through this very exciting period of time where everyone was like, oh my God. Well, actually, no, before it was there, it was down here. No one was really talking about it. No one really talked about it. All of a sudden, it becomes exciting and interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in at this stage. This here is around stage 1. Coming back across to our diagram, stage 1 is the initial catalyst. But just before stage 1, we see smart money enters. This is what I'm hopefully getting you to do on this video. By being smart money, by being the insiders, not the insiders, but just before what's about to happen, okay? Because this is when shit gets real, and this is when everyone starts to get in. But we are now getting in before the initial catalyst. Now, the initial catalyst can come from one of many different things. Many different things. And I will talk about Aether in just a moment. Please be patient. And if you just keep writing Aether, in fact, Jim Bro, I will not talk about Aether, so stop it. It really pissed me off. Anyway, the initial catalyst could be like I talk about it, or Alex Becker talks about it, or Crypto Banter, or whoever it is. Just goes and talks about a coin one day. All of a sudden, you're like, holy crap, what is desync? What is Clearpool? And suddenly it blows up. Or you have a news event that suddenly blows up that coin. Like last year, we saw Ondo pumping because BlackRock launched that news article. Or BlackRock partnered with Ondo, another pretty big deal. Or, I don't know, Donald Trump puts it in his treasury. Whatever the catalyst, okay? Something causes it to pump. Now what happens is suddenly the price goes up a lot. And then it gets into trending. Somewhere over here, it gets onto the trending page. By which point, you're probably starting to get to a point where you're going to miss out. By which point, it's the, I don't know, whatever the trending coins of. So you see the trending coins of today, you're probably going to say that you might have missed them by the time they're getting into this top gainers section. Yeah, well, if they're in there, you definitely miss them. But if you're getting into like the most visited pages, then you probably missed them, okay? Because they're only there because everyone's looking at them because the price is already up. If you're just going and looking at something because the price is up, that's why your bags have been down since December. Okay, because you bought them when they were up, when everyone was focusing on them. So, coming back to this diagram, we get into trending. What happens? Then you get lots, so obviously it's in trending. More and more people buy, more and more people buy. Keeps going up, keeps going up, keeps going up. More and more people are then going back and searching for it. Okay, more and more people go back and search for it. And because of that search volume, influencers who are struggling to get much in terms of views will go straight back and try and give you more information on those same coins over and over again. Okay, fortunately, and I know this because I used to do it when I had a small channel. Now, fortunately, I don't have to do that because hopefully you'll just watch my videos, whether it's trending or not. Okay, so I try and get in before it trends. Smaller influencers who are forced to try and win over the algorithm would know because you are, you know, just trying to reinforce your confirmation bias on the coins that you bought, will just keep making the same BS crap over and over again, being like XRP to like $500, XRP or Jasmy to like $600, Casper to like $30. And you're like, oh my God, this guy is a legend because he's telling you that you're going to get rich by holding this coin. But actually he's not a legend because he's probably lying to you. He's just telling you what you want to hear. Confirmation bias into the delusion, at which point the smart money's getting out, okay? And the people who don't get out at this point just end up being a bag holder, and then they're just praying that there's another catalyst to come back in, okay? Sometimes there is another catalyst, sometimes there's not. Okay, so we return back into the initial catalyst zone, and then, you know, we go through that cycle again. Just an example of this. Ondo, smart money, buys up in this accumulation zone. Initial catalyst. Here, initial catalyst starts to send it up. Trending coin. Ondo is a trending coin and a trending narrative. Now what happens? Everyone starts to make videos about how good Ondo is because all of you are searching for it. You all want to know. And then guess what? Everyone gets into this like, oh, Ondo is going to be the future of finance and all this other like delusional BS stuff. Well, maybe it will, but that's when the narrative kicks in and everyone's like, Ondo's different, this coin's different. And then guess what? Smart money. See you later. Thank you very much. And then you're just the bag holder until the next phase, and then hopefully you get another catalyst. Now this is obviously a small phase, okay, but this happens in bull markets from time to time, all the time, okay, without fail. All right, is that useful? So don't just focus on stuff that's trending. Be cautious. You know, if you're trending, just find out how early you are in the trend. If you're not that early, then be cautious. Right. Aether and Metacade are so sexy. You guys got to get out more. Aether is mind-blowing. Aether is a very interesting project, very underrated and very interesting. What's Aether doing right now? Okay. Aether is an incredibly important and interesting project, and a lot of the projects that are doing a lot of the ecosystem work behind these AI agents, behind AI, are very fundamentally interesting. Render has caught a lot of attention, and people love talking about Render. Okay, unfortunately, Render I feel fits maybe somewhere in over around here, because actually its market cap is something like $4 billion, maybe more. The amount of money it makes is like $8 million, which means it would take like 500 years. No, hold on. Is that right? 400 years? 400 years for it to be able to earn its market cap. Okay. On the flip side of things, Aether makes lots of money and isn't actually worth so much. So it would take 4 years. And that's because of what Aether does versus what Render does, for example, that's actually massively in demand. And Aether is making huge amounts of money and revenue that's actually getting driven back into its ecosystem. But right now it's just been sort of slowly, quietly going under the radar. Lots of coins that launched back in the middle of last year after Bitcoin had a peak and then ran down did horribly. Okay, did absolutely horribly. It could be Portal as an example. Lots of these coins had an absolute shocker, right? They launched and then this happened. By contrast, you've got Aether that's launched and just gone kind of sideways. This is probably one of the most important clues to be looking out for. Maybe it hasn't popped yet, but it's going to get there. It's getting a lot of quiet attention. We all know it, okay? When it eventually rallies, it will be one that everyone starts to talk about. Now, what they're doing right now that's very important is they are offering grants for AI agents and things like that. But they also, for those of you who don't know what Aether is, basically are a GPU compute provider. The demand for GPU compute power, which is the specific compute power for AI agents and AI development, you need something called H100, which are these very, very expensive GPU processors. Okay, if I've lost you, just remain calm. To develop AI projects like ChatGPT and whatever, it's very, very expensive. You need lots of compute power. You need a specific type of compute power, which can be provided only by these H100 NVIDIA chips that are like $30,000, maybe more. Most projects can't really afford to buy them, so they rent the power. Problem with this is it's been very, very expensive to go and do this in the Web 2 world. What Aether has done is it's partnered up with NVIDIA, and it now has access to 20,000 H100s all around the world in different places. So that if you want to go and use H100 compute power, you can do it through the cloud to be able to power your project. This means that Aether can do this at like 1/10 of the cost of like Amazon Web Services. The demand right now for this compute power is doing a 10x every 18 months. Every year and a half, the demand does a 10x. And pretty much only Aether and maybe IO.net have this capability. This is why this is an incredibly undervalued project. Okay? So yeah. And because of the AI agents have been raging, I do think that AI agents will, continue to see a lot of growth. And particularly, what's more important about what we've just seen happen over this weekend is we've seen Donald Trump's meme coin pull a load of money into Solana. That money then washes in and around Solana into some of these AI agents and things like that. I think once we see more boom coming from AI agents, it's going to push across into Aether and other ecosystems that are supporting AI agents. Okay. And if you want to know more about a project that I'm launching later in Q1, be very, very careful about what I tell you. Go and check out Perceptron Network. Okay. This page got launched yesterday, nearly 1,000 followers. Some big names following it. There's going to be some major partnership announcements coming hopefully today, maybe tomorrow for this. We will be doing pretty much a fair launch, okay? Not VC backed. This could be for you if you missed out on the Trump pump. So get across, check out Perceptron Network. I will make a video later in the week explaining what this is and why it's such an integral part of AI agents going forward. Okay, this, for those of you who are excited about Gotopia, if you're invested in Gotopia, you will be instead invested in this, which I think should make you happy. And there'll be more details to follow on that, released in various different ways over the next few days. If you've been tapping away at Gotopia and earning points, don't worry. You will also be receiving airdrops for Perceptron. Okay, so go and give Perceptron a follow, guys. I'll let you know later in the week what's going to happen with it. And when we do the fair launch, I'll do it on a live stream. So make sure you're subscribed and you are locked in, and we will talk about how to make the most of that pump, because when it goes live, I'm sure it's going to pump pretty hard. Okay, so get across, give Perceptron Network a follow, and wait for more details. We'll be explaining more about what it is and how it works. You can also check out this tweet here from Trail2Crypto. Also explains it in a little bit more depth and why it's such an integral part of this booming narrative right now. Who's excited? Right, where are we? We've got some super chats. Some very generous super chats. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Shirlene Yang. XRP entry price. Guys, you have not got an XRP entry price. I'm sorry, but it is gone. Look, here's another wise bit of philosophy for you guys. Hopefully, you know, I might not be the most technically minded, okay, but I spent a lot of time, and I'm not psychologically trained in psychology, but hopefully this is the thing that I get the most, okay, and hopefully this is going to help you. There is not an entry price that you can get into XRP right now, okay? You only asking me that question, no, and I'm not singling you out, because I know a lot of people will be asking the same question. Today, XRP is up 12.3%. If you hold XRP, congratulations. If you don't hold XRP, there is another coin out there. Stop trying to get an entry on this coin. It is at all-time highs. Do you know what coins do from all-time highs? They maybe carry on a little bit higher, especially once they go pretty much vertical. This is going vertical, guys. This is going vertical. They go a bit higher, and they might do it very fast, and it will be a very big trap if it happens, because I think XRP maybe rallies and goes to like $5. Maybe $6. Okay, if it does that, it's going to capture everyone again. You're just going to get another like Trump and dump, which is what I saw earlier, which I quite liked. Okay, you're all going to run across and try and get into XRP for like a 2x, and then it just sells off, and then you miss out on all the other altcoins out there that are not really being paid attention to right now that you could get into. You could be getting into some of those altcoins that I talked about, either like down here or maybe even down here. So why get into XRP? Okay, XRP. If you asked me that question back in November, maybe I wouldn't have noticed, but you would have got your 6x. But don't bother, okay? Sorry. If you're holding XRP, I'm not telling you to necessarily sell, do what you want, okay? I'm just telling you that there is another coin for another day. Hope that helps, Charlene. Thank you very much for your donation. Hopefully hopefully I've earned your donation there. Harsh Deep Sing. Uniswap price prediction. My man. I've never heard anyone talk about Uniswap recently, but that actually might be a really rogue call, as in a good way. Because obviously we've seen Ethereum going like, oh, okay. Because Ethereum's obviously going crazy. For those of you who don't know, Uniswap is a DEX on Ethereum. If Donald Trump and his speeches that are going live tonight, which I'm probably going to have to end up staying up for, goes and like does some crazy thing with Ethereum, which because of what we've just seen over on this Ethereum Bitcoin chart is a possibility, because it is dead low and everyone's like, oh, I think Ethereum's a scam. We're getting to that point. People are panicking all over the show that Ethereum's just going to die. Maybe, just maybe, Ethereum goes and does this. If Ethereum does this, what everyone's going to do is go, oh my God, and rush across to Ethereum. Because in crypto, we have no memory. We just do stupid stuff. No matter how many times I tell you, you're just going to repeat the same things. I do it too. Okay, we rush around like crazy, just like, where's the money? Where's the money? And then eventually it all ends up in Trump coin and fart coin. If Ethereum pumps like crazy and everyone rushes over to Ethereum to start trading, the DEX on this is actually a very good call. You're thinking smart. Thank you, Harsh Deep. So Uniswap could be just a bit of a call. Just an option here because, yeah, because everyone will want to trade on the DEX in the same way that Jupiter and Solana and everything's been pumping in the last few days. It makes sense, right? So who knows? There's no guarantee, obviously, that happens. So in terms of entries, Uniswap, there are other DEXs available on Ethereum, I believe. But from here, you've got a nice pump and then a nice little W pattern emerging. Something like that. It's already pretty high, so I don't think you're going to see necessarily insane returns from it. But I would suggest that it probably rallies, and it would look, you know, you could look to maybe, where are the previous resistance? So that's previous resistance there, previous resistance here. Does it get back to previous all-time highs? Who knows? But it might be a very good like sort of play on Ethereum. Should Ethereum suddenly wake up and go crazy? Because if Ethereum does go to like 15 grand, then Uniswap for sure will be breaking its previous all-time highs. It's not a bad call. Very good call. Thank you. Who else we got? Jeff Casper. Jeff's message is blocking your face. Jeff, what are you doing to me, mate? I don't... Oh, John. It's John. Sorry, guys. Thank you, John, for that. Is it possible to 5x on near ICP or AOS, or are we too late? ICP is an interesting one. Again, interesting tech, right? I know everyone loves it. This is also a problem for me. When everyone's loving it, and when everyone, if you all already love it, then who else is left to find it? But it did have an interesting wake up more recently when we saw this kind of little push in crypto. But this is April. We're getting lower highs. Okay, lower highs probably a little stressful. Where does it come up to? Well, come back to here. Where does ICP exist on here? It does have a lot of this. I hate to say it, which is a bit off-putting. Okay, endless amounts of influencers being like, it's going to go to whatever. And that's partly because you guys keep searching for positive reinforcement to try and make yourself feel better about your investment. And you've just been watching Jerry Banfield in between his rap videos telling you like how good ICP is. If you're watching Jerry, I'm sorry. I really enjoy your rap videos. I actually do. They're quite funny. Anyone know what they are? ICP right now. I mean, it's not a bad entry, right? It's been finding support at this previous resistance. How much higher it goes? Does it go up? Well, we got 37. Yeah, easy. There's a possibility that ICP can go up towards maybe testing these highs, which is like a good sort of solid 8 to 9x. It's pretty big in terms of market cap. Yes, it's pretty like interesting and it is very cool. And if they can pull off what they're trying to do, then yeah, amazing. Okay, but if anything has taught you a lesson about this weekend, is that a lot of the tech isn't necessarily always the thing that can save a project. We had a meme coin go bigger than anything in like the space of no days, whereas incredibly technical and interesting projects also don't perform as well. Same way that Render is massively outperforming Aether. Aether is definitely a more technically superior product, in my opinion, because of the reasons I shared earlier. Mainly because of, you know, the industry it's in. There's so much more demand for it than there is for rendering. Okay, but just be cautious of getting too clinging onto this, like, the technology, because it's partly coming from here, okay? It is good tech, but just don't get too separated from the price action and expectations. AOS, I'll quickly rattle through these. I don't know how long I've been on this. We'll wrap it up in another 10 minutes or so. Maybe, just maybe. AOS, I mean, you got an all right entry, but look at it, guys. One massive leg up, two massive leg ups. At best, you get a third massive leg up. And look at it. This is like, it's worked its way quite a long way through this bull run. How much higher it goes? Let's say it goes to $4. 330%, 430%. I don't know. I think it's a little bit later. It's a great project, right? And it does capture a lot of people's excitement. Ondo and AOS, Does Ondo have a potential for a 5x? I think you've got a far easier 5x in like Clearpool, and in Chintai, and in Lingo. All good? Thank you very much, guys. Very kind. Right, don't send any more because I don't have much more time to take all yours and I feel bad. We'll just do one. What we thinking about Cardano, baby? Same thing as I said about XRP, I would imagine. I haven't looked at it, but Cardano, I know you're all like hung up on the tech. This is, again, it's gone very vertical, right? Always a bit scary when projects go vertical. But you can see, because after they go vertical, look, it went vertical before, and then it just goes chops, chops, chops. And from that vertical point on Cardano, yeah, it went vertical, happy days. But from that vertical point, it then only goes up another 120%, right? So does Cardano go higher? I don't see why it can't. Okay, right now, as we look at the chart, it is putting in a higher low. I'm sure if we look at daily, it looks like a ascending triangle, something like that. I would imagine Cardano could well lead the charge. I think a lot of these coins over the next few days, if everything goes to plan and we see Bitcoin suddenly pumping like crazy, if Bitcoin suddenly does the next leg, I'll show you where I think Bitcoin's going to go in just a moment, then we're going to see Cardano's, XRPs, the standard list, the standard ones go crazy. If you're in them, then happy days. I would personally, and you're going to be hating me for saying it, I would look to take profits from some of those coins and move it into some of the coins that are yet to see much action. Not because I don't think those coins can't go higher, but just because I think you can make more money in other things. And I know people get angry about it, but I don't care, okay? Fundamentally, this is how crypto works. This is why most people don't get money, make money, because they're just so emotionally attached to stuff because of this. Most people are just stuck in and around this place. And particularly, if you do 2 laps of this, or maybe more laps of this, I know like, XRP guys probably done 3 laps of this, then you end up being so like stuck in this like little zone here, and you never get out this way, okay? I'm just giving you a chance. Just giving you a chance. Take it how you will. So I think those coins lead the charge again, as we saw earlier on in November. Cardano, XRP, XLM, HBAR, maybe even the Jasmy, Render, these large cap coins that you can buy on Coinbase that just have like nice, bright, shiny logos that people might know or not. Market moves. Eventually, those coins will start to sell up. Money will move out of them. They don't necessarily dump, but maybe they just end up going sideways for a while. You don't want to be stuck. So I'll just go back to Cardano just as an example. You don't want to be stuck while everything else is going bananas in a coin for February 2021 until August 2021. So from February till August, you don't want to be stuck here trying to chase another 2x. If I told you were going to 2x on a coin from now until August, you probably would choose another one, wouldn't you? So yeah, can XRP go higher? Well, yeah, of course, but probably not that much higher before it does that. It's just not that enough. There's just not enough money to go into these things. Right, so where does Bitcoin go? Well, anyone's guess, but I would say that the easiest guess to say is probably we go from the swing high to the swing low. Okay, which brings us up to a 1.618, up at around $120,000. Now, I would hazard a guess that somewhere up at 120k that we might stop just before it. And there's things coming up in the next 10 days that you should probably be aware of. That will probably have a bit of a negative impact on crypto. First thing is it is the Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. I call it the Lunar New Year because it's not just in China, but it happens in lots of places. The volume on crypto drops like crazy over this period of time because Koreans, Vietnamese, Chinese, Taiwanese all don't trade during this holidays, and they all have some of the biggest volumes of trading going on. So you're likely to see a very quiet period of time, possibly after Trump's got in. And it's possibly not a good thing if the drop-off in volume comes straight after all the excitement and hype of Donald Trump's administration, inauguration, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we might see a quick pump, and then suddenly maybe it goes a bit quiet. And if the volume falls out of the market, there's a chance, just a chance, that we maybe see some form of a retrace. that suddenly shocks everyone. This is in line as well. I've seen something coming out of Raoul Pal's Real Vision recently, where he talks about Donald Trump coming in and being a very strong dollar and things he might try and do to reduce the strength of the dollar. Because if the dollar's really strong, no one wants to do trade with America. It becomes too expensive. Okay, this is not good for America to have such a strong dollar. They want to weaken their dollar so that other countries will start buying stuff from them again. This strength in the dollar initially could cause this dip in Bitcoin. Okay, so everyone being very bullish on the dollar is bad for investments. Typically, you could see a bit of a dip. Could also affect, other things. But this is quite typical. We saw it, I think, in the last two bull markets. Or sorry, the bull market before when Trump came in. Suddenly we saw a sell-off in crypto after an initial pump. If we get that, then you obviously get this. You know what to do, right? If it does that, happy days. But you don't buy tops in this zone. If you are buying cryptos, I would say that you don't really want to be buying too much more from now on. I would say I am all in right now. And I would look through this year up until March to be starting to take profits in around March. Who knows what's going to happen after then? I think market then retraces. I think we then have another entry for a big push into the later in the year. But who knows? Anyway, guys, I will leave it at that because my voice is hoarse and my throat is sore and I've talked too much. And considering I had no plan of what I was going to talk about, seem to have hopefully shared some useful information. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't got through and done this already, do me a favor, please just hit the like button. Thank you very much. Leave a comment down below if you haven't already. Also, go across, give me a follow on Twitter. This is Perceptron. Go and give... Only, 50 of you have gone over and followed this. Guys, this is one of the more exciting projects I think is going to launch soon. Well, I know it's going to launch soon, right, because it's my project. We're going to give the House of Crypto 3 a follow, okay? You can catch some of the trades and things that I'm doing over there. A lot of the coins that I talk about on YouTube, before I talk about them, I often kind of hint at talking about them on YouTube, over on Twitter, okay? Go and give me a follow over on Twitter. Thanks very much for that. Also, I wasn't going to do this, but obviously I'm going to shill this anyway. If you are already trading and you are on Coinbase and Binance and these are the only exchanges you're using, you're going to ask from time to time, where do I buy this coin? I can't buy this coin because it's not available on Coinbase and Binance. It's very difficult to get on Coinbase and very difficult to get on Binance. Hence why Trump coin isn't even on Coinbase yet. Okay, so if you want to be able to buy, not necessarily Trump coin, but smaller market cap coins that are under $100 million market caps, then you need to be on other exchanges. There's a link down below for Bitunix. Okay, Bitunix is an exchange I use every single day. Okay, it doesn't require a KYC. It will also list coins that I ask them to list. So when I am talking about coins on my videos, typically they will have already listed them. If they haven't listed them, then I will go and get them to list them later on. Okay, so if you want to trade the coins that I'm talking about, go and sign up for Bitunix, link down below in the description. No KYC required, which is great. If, however, you want to have access to pretty much every crypto coin out there, then MEXC, also linked down below. It is okay to have multiple exchanges. I have multiple exchanges. I personally use 4 or 5 different exchanges to make sure that I've got lots of different coins, that I'm not all my eggs in one basket, okay? MEXC has over 4,000 different altcoins. 0% fees on trading. It's pretty much a no-brainer. But it can be tricky, depending on where you live in the world, to be able to access it because the requirement for KYC, which is why I offer you Bitunix as well. Sign up through the links down below. Both of them come with significant bonuses. Okay, they can be found in the description of this video. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button. Remember, stop buying tops of coins, relax. Stop trying to ask if it's too late to get into this coin or that coin, because it is. You know when it's not too late, when no one's talking about it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.